I'd like to firstly invite Saurabh Jain, CMO at House of Abhinandan Lodha. I'd like to also invite Vandana Krishna, Chief Marketing Officer at JSW Deluxe. Richa Kohli, Head Media and Alliances, Momentous Digital. And Vipul Kedia, MMA India Board Member, Chief Operating Officer, India and Emerging Markets, Affle 3i. Thank you so much. All right, I see 6 yards of power here, which means you will be weaving the thoughts all together. Can we have 6 yards of powerful round of applause from all of you first up? Our finale session, let's do that. And with that, Anindita, over to you.
So I do understand that we are all sitting, standing between you and the drinks. So we'll make this quick, we'll make this short, but I can guarantee you we'll make this exciting. Okay? So on that, and thank you so much for remaining to be here and enjoying our company as well as listening in to us. So on that note, and thank you, lovely panelists, I had a great session prior to this because I was having a chat with them and I've learned a lot, so I'm hoping to share some of those learnings along with all of you. But before we start, I have one question which I'm going to ask quickly to all my panelists. And that's, we've heard a lot about AI, you've heard about operationalizing it, you've had some people who are in experimentation phase. I want each of you to let me know, and the audience, and rate yourselves, please, and be honest about it. It's okay if it is brutal. Where do each of you honestly place yourselves when it comes to experimenting or when it comes to operationalizing?
So I think as Affle, I would place ourselves firmly in the operationalizing stack because we've been on the journey. Our first AI patent was actually filed in 2019, and we've been on the journey for at least 6 to 8 years, and a lot of our workflows, a lot of our platforms are fully Agentic AI enabled. So operationalized, but I'm sure at the pace at which things are growing, I mean, we will keep having to catch up.
So great, you're far more on the mature side. What about you, Richa?
So we've actually been able to operationalize the whole thing. We've created a product based on Agentic AI, and that's actually helping us move forward in the whole space.
Oh, so great, lovely. 2 people already in operationalizing phase, lots to learn. What about you, Vandana?
Oh, well, we're way below. Like I was telling you earlier, there's lots that I've learned today. We are definitely in early experimental stage, and if I have to rate ourselves, we would be 1, 2 on a 10.
Potential and opportunity is how we call it. What about you, Saurabh?
Yeah, I think I'll rate ourselves maybe at a 5 or a 6. And that's largely because, we've done some operationalizing a bit, but that's been specific to certain projects, etc. There's been one project which is rolled end-to-end without any human intervention through Agentic AI, but that's not the normal course because there are various levels of complexity involved, especially when it comes to real estate, right? But at the same time, I would say from a long-term perspective, possibly all of us are somewhere in between experimenting and operationalizing, because as Vipul was also saying, it's always changing. It's always the same. So while you operationalize, there is always so much to catch up to, and which is what makes this journey extremely exciting.
Great. So now coming to our first question, Vipul, I'll start with you. Because see, you're a MMA board member and you sit at the intersection of, technology, marketing at scale, multiple brands that you see. What is the real gap between the infrastructure that an organization currently has versus where it actually needs to be for you to operationalize AI?
So I think the biggest gap is in the thought process, because today the workflows of each organization are built for teams, for specific channels, for tackling specific problems. Even the data layer is built accordingly. So you will have, specific data layers for specific teams and what tasks they are supposed to do. So moving the thought process from that human-oriented workflows to agent-oriented workflows, where agents are supposed to read into the entire data, be across all touch points, gather all the information, and then be able to take decisions and implement your workflows. I think that is where the biggest gap I see today.
Cool. And so I'll go to Richa next, and I want to take off from what Vipul said, actually. So he's talked about the gap. You're living within, from a CMO's perspective, you're actually living within the organization and actually implementing all of this. What I want to ask you is, what really needs to change? Or is there actually, like Vipul said, there is a gap. Do you believe there is a gap, or what is it that needs to change if there is a gap?
See, there's definitely going to be a gap. The amount and the speed at which the technology is evolving, we reach step one, we were all discussing the same thing. We touch A, the technology is already at C. So the gap is going to be there. All we have to do is try and reach a point wherein we are all evolving with it. And I think everybody is adapting to it. Be it, as she said, at a very earlier stage, or with Arvind at a very higher stage, right? Saurabh, sorry. But we are all adapting to it. So similarly, that is happening. So the gap, expecting the gap to go down is something that is not going to happen. But yes, we are all adapting to it, and we are all working towards trying to fill it.
So there is a gap that we agree.
Yeah.
And from your perspective, how deep is that gap?
I think the basic is, to start with, is what the blocker is us humans, right? We don't know how much to take in, how much to experiment with.
Yep.
And where do we want to go? Do we want to let go completely? Are we ready for it? That is one of the biggest blocker. I think the minute we start being okay with that automation that agentic AI gets in, we'll reach there.
Cool. So Vandana, off to you. And this seems like I'm going like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, but unfortunately, that's the way they've sat down. Okay. So from your perspective, and you did say that, you're still learning and you're in that experimentation phase. When you do start maturing your entire AI stack and agentic stack, what do you think you will have to fix as your first step?
As he had mentioned, I think for legacy organization like ours, our tech stack has been built over the years for particular need that was there at that point. The stack is not end-to-end. It doesn't speak to each other. So if we do have to in future take advantage of agentic AI completely, we would need to fix that journey that exists today in silos as a seamless journey, so that there is actual data and knowledge that gets collected, which agentic AI can then use to actually create inputs. So far, we've just been experimenting. In fact, because I was coming here, I checked. For example, small things that we are experimenting with are, we have a call center, there are hundreds of calls coming in. We are putting this AI to at least have that data captured and the machine learning happening. So over a period, we would want a lot of that to happen automatically. But at a larger organization, it's still some time away because we need to first fix the data flow.
So it's small steps, but definitely a great journey that we talk about. Talking about journeys, I want to ask you, Saurabh, one of the most complex journeys is what your customer goes through, because it's an extremely high involvement, deeply emotional, journey. Multiple touch points, right? What has been from your Martech journey, and what is it that you have genuinely had to change so that your journey is a lot more engaging, especially given that a lot of customers today come in with preconceived notions and they have done enough research. So AI is playing a huge role in the journey for your customer. So how is that impacted your journey today with your customer, and what is it that you're sort of tinkering around with to make that a lot more relevant?
Sure. So, for context, it's important to note that as an organization, we do 100% of sales online, so we do not meet our customers. Yeah, absolutely. So, except for possibly, people like you who, may come in as a reference or something, but 99.9% of the customers...
That was a nice touch, huh? That was a nice touch.
99.9% of the customers are absolutely sold online. And so the organization was set up to unlock value from that perspective. And hence, which is exactly why we are able to sell projects right from Ayodhya, Vrindavan to Goa and Alibag and, various undiscovered places in Konkan to people across the country. So there are buyers in about 30 states, and there are buyers in over 27 countries across the world who are already bought with us, and thousands of such customers actually, and all done online. So this sort of a setup for the organization has been a huge advantage for us in adopting new technologies, whether it is ML, AI, and whatever else. So that has been an advantage. Having said that, I think every change has its own journey. But where we've been successful is to build cases, do small experiments, and then go big. What we've seen is, there are different kind of journeys, as you outlined as well. It's a fairly complex one. Real estate is not like buying a bar of soap or, a candy or anything else. And hence, we've experimented with different kind of models. There are models which are outrightly AI, agentic AI led, which is what I mentioned previously as well. Then there are also human led AI assisted models. So for example, we have a platform, a global tech partner, which has helped us build a complete interface whereby, the callers, our salespeople who interact with the customers online, they get the right kind of prompts in terms of what is to be said next, what is the flow of discussion, etc. And so there is a lot of assistance which comes in by way of AI, and that is something that is quite settled now for us. But at the same time, the complete agentic AI, we've been extremely successful in one project, but that is not yet the way of life for us. But the whole idea is to integrate the marketing campaigns and see how we can make it more seamless and every touch point more consistent for customers.
Which is actually so true, because that's exactly what all of you are saying, in terms of how AI, you may be at different modes or different stages of the journey, but they are all a relevant platform for each of you to continue to engage. And on that note, and this is something that I think a lot of people have spoken about in this room, and I'll go to you, Vandana, the debate, which is like the OG debate on brand versus performance. Do you genuinely believe that AI will change that?
First, I think I said this before as well. I do not believe brand and performance are separate. Because at the end of the day, performance is to aid brand deliver the end objective of growth. Brand does not sit in silo. Brand exists to be able to deliver a value, and performance is a way of delivering that. So it's not one versus the other. Where I do believe AI can play a big role is making the entire, performance marketing or movement from or using brand to conversion journey a lot more seamless, more personalized. And I think that's something that will happen. It's already happening for everyone around, different stages for different brands. But that's something that's going to evolve and going to become way more meaningful and personalized for consumers.
Absolutely so true, and that's something that the scale that it offers is the power that we all need. And on that note, when we are talking about brand versus performance, Richa, I'll come to you. And you also mentioned this, that you're a lot more advanced in your journey within your organization when it comes to AI. So what is it that you're really measuring? Because we've always been a traditional stack on, we know what to measure on a traditional stack. But on a digital-first, AI-first world, what are you measuring?
See, basically the base is not going to change, right? Agentic AI sits on top of our traditional Martech at the end of the day. So the base doesn't change. It changes what you look at. Earlier, we used to look at for example, different platforms differently. Today, you have one system looking at everything together. Your marketing mix is changing, but at the same time, if you've got influencers, you've got AI videos which look like influencers. So you pretty much have the entire look and feel different, but you're looking at it together. You're not looking at it and you're not really separating everything out. If one thing is working and the other isn't, it's working on one platform, the other isn't. The calls are quicker, the understanding is better, what is good, what is not is much deeper than it used to be.
Correct.
That's how it works.
It's all about connected workflows, as they say. And that brings me, Vipul, to you. you have a very unique position of having worked across multiple brands. And I just want to ask you that when you talk to organizations, obviously legacy organizations, digital first organizations, AI native organizations, all of them have different infrastructures, in terms of where they are built and where they stand today. What do you, in your opinion, what is the advice that you would give that needs to fundamentally change when organizations are architecting their Martech stack to make them successful in today's world?
I think taking a goal-based approach versus a human-based approach. So you have to imagine the world where agents are taking a lot of decisions, agents are looking at your data and implementing a lot of solutions that humans are doing today. And setting the right guardrails for the agents and where should a human step in and how should the decision making flow. So I think for organizations moving from the traditional channel based teams and the like this is the ATL team, this is the digital media, this is the Meta, Google, etc. Finally you are driving one goal, whether it is brand or performance, and giving as much unified data and decision making capabilities to the agentic AI world is what is going to propel the organizations forward.
I love the outcome-based approach because I think that's really, really what we all need now. And on that last note, Saurabh, I'm coming to you, okay? We talk a lot about AI, Martech stack, but I think a lot of us don't talk about what do we as skills need to change. So from your perspective, I want to understand what are the new ways of working? What's actually breaking teams in accepting or adopting this? Or what is it that you have seen that creates resistance?
Well, see, there is always resistance, but I don't think it's very specific to AI. The resistance that we see in AI is largely driven by the human tendency, psychology to change. And as long as that can be addressed, the value of change can be explained to teams, I think you can march on. So for example, for us, wherever we are using AI, besides the sales process, etc., as well within the marketing foray, the narrative, and I genuinely believe so, is for the people who are dealing with it, is the fact that it's AI is actually helping them do a lot of these stuff which maybe not so productive for them, and which allows them to free up the time and do more critical thinking, come up with better ideas and so on and so forth. And that, at least for me, has worked wonders. I think as a team, my team has been very progressive. They have adapted to change, and we are
Gold
looking
standard.
forward to do more and more.
Great. What's the one, it's a common question. What's the one thing that you should not give to AI? Quick.
Personal data.
Okay.
I agree, personal data.
Personal data?
Personal data.
Oh, everyone's saying personal data. Okay. So on that note, and since we are just about to get, the time that clock is ticking, so I'm going to do something that is a lot more exciting than just asking them questions, and that's a rapid fire. These are questions that they don't know, were not shared with them. So it's just a word association. I want you to choose, and it has to be quick. Okay? You guys are ready? The ones in the audience? Yeah? Somebody say ready, no? Yeah, awesome. You guys are ready? Yeah. Because I am.
Depending on what you're asking them, the audience is ready for drinks.
The audience is ready for drinks, correct? Okay. Saurabh, automation or autonomy?
Autonomy.
Okay. Vipul, human intuition or AI recommendation?
Human intuition.
All right. Richa, speed or control?
Control.
Control. Okay. Vandana, centralized strategy or decentralized execution?
Centralized strategy with decentralized
Now,
execution.
this is being extremely smart. This is being extremely smart. मेरे को तो both चाहिए. I cannot choose, okay?
She's not going to get the hamper if she answers this way.
And you have to choose one. Okay. So I'll come back to you. Campaigns or always on engagement? Vandana.
Always on engagement.
Experimentation or optimization? Come back to you.
Experimentation.
Okay. Saurabh, built-in or partner ecosystem?
Partner ecosystem.
I love you for that. Short-term ROI or long-term brand building?
A long-term brand building.
Okay, Richa. Platform or more tools?
More tools.
More tools. I love you again for that. Yes.
That's how platforms are built.
Exactly. Comfortable or uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable.
Familiar or unknown?
Unknown.
Vipul. Safe or brave?
Brave.
Brave. That's the way to go. Efficiency or intelligence?
Intelligence.
Visibility or foresight?
Foresight.
And for all of you, scale or precision?
Scale.
Scale.
Scale with precision.
Another one.
But that's all what we want at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. I said scale.
Scale, is it? So scale and scale with precision.
See, scale also because precision will come over time. There is no way to ensure precision as you
You
scale
got
up.
to aim for it, no?
That is, and that, ladies and gentlemen, are my lovely panelists and the discussion around traditional versus agentic AI. Thank you so much for being there, and we are absolutely 25 seconds before time.
Thanks, Anandita.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anandita. And thank you so much to all of our panelists. What a phenomenal session that turned out to be.